Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm glad you're here too. Nobody was ready for this. Not the fans, not the cameras that happened to catch it, and honestly, based on the look on her face afterward, not even Shen Yue herself. What Wang did in that moment was so small, and yet so enormous that clips of it have been flying across every platform for days now, and people are still not done talking about it. A single forehead kiss. That is all it was on the surface. But anyone who watched it knows that what happened in that moment was not small at all. It was the kind of thing that makes your breath catch because you recognize it immediately as something real. Let's set the scene properly because context here is everything. This was not a staged moment. This was not a rehearsed interaction designed to feed a narrative or keep a fanbase engaged. If anything, the circumstances surrounding it were so ordinary that the gesture itself stood out like a light turning on in a dark room. Dylan and Shen Yue were in the middle of what appeared to be a perfectly normal interaction, the kind that happens between two people who have spent enough time together that the walls between them stopped existing a long time ago, and then without any warning, without any fanfare, Dylan leaned in and pressed his lips to her forehead. If you are not already subscribed to this channel, do that right now because moments like this one are exactly why we are here, and you do not want to keep arriving late to the conversation. The reaction from Shen Yue is what absolutely broke the internet. She did not laugh it off. She did not make a joke to redirect the moment the way people sometimes do when they're caught off guard by something tender in front of an audience. She went still. Just for a second, just long enough for everyone watching to see it. She went completely still, and something moved across her face that no amount of professionalism could have hidden. It was the look of someone who was not expecting to feel that much in that particular moment, and was suddenly feeling all of it at once. Fans who have been following Shen Yue for years said they had never seen that specific expression on her face before. And that is saying something. The internet did exactly what the internet does when Daishin hands it something it was not prepared for. It erupted. Within hours, the clip had been slowed down, zoomed in, captioned, analyzed, and shared more times than anyone could reasonably count. Fan accounts that have been running for years said their notifications went completely haywire. People who do not even follow the story closely were being sent the clip by friends saying you need to see this right now. That is the kind of reach that only happens when a moment transcends the usual fan circle and touches something more universal. Something that people recognize not as celebrity gossip, but as a genuinely human thing. And that is the part worth sitting with. Because a forehead kiss is one of the most specific forms of tenderness that exists between two people. It is not passionate in the obvious showy way. It is not a gesture designed to perform romance for an audience. A forehead kiss is something you give someone when words are not enough, and when what you feel for them is so layered and so deep that the only way to begin expressing it is through something quiet and deliberate and completely unguarded. It says, "I see you." It says you are safe with me. It says something that has no clean translation into language, but that everyone who has ever received one understands instantly in their whole body. For Wang, a person who tends to guard his emotional interior with extraordinary discipline in public settings, to offer that gesture in a moment that was being observed, speaks to something that his usual composure was simply not able to contain in that particular second. It slipped through, and it slipped through beautifully. The reactions coming in from fans across the world have been everything from full emotional breakdowns to people saying they need a moment to collect themselves before they can properly comment. Longtime followers of this story are calling it one of the most significant unscripted Daishin moments that has ever been captured on camera. Not because of its drama, but precisely because of its lack of it. There was no drama in that kiss. There was only sincerity. And sincerity, when you have been following a story as layered and complicated and deeply felt as this one, hits harder than any dramatic reveal ever could. What makes this moment even more significant is its timing. Coming off the back of everything that has been swirling around Dylan and Shen Yue recently, every update and every development that fans have been processing and discussing for weeks now, this gesture landed in the middle of all of that noise like a period at the end of a very long sentence. Like something being said without words that answered questions that nobody had quite figured out how to ask yet. There is a version of this story where both of them continue moving carefully around the edges of what they are to each other in public. And then there is the version where Dylan Wang leans in and kisses Shen Yue's forehead in front of a camera, and the whole careful structure of plausible deniability quietly dissolves. We are living in that second version now. And the fans who have been here through all of it, through every silence and every rumor and every almost moment, they know exactly what they just witnessed. This is not the end of the story. If anything, it feels like the beginning of something that has been a long time coming. Stay close. We will be right here when the next chapter opens.